Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And I want to welcome us to the afternoon analysis session today. All right, so we have a couple of events we anticipate to be released in the next like 1 hour. We're having core retail sales from Canada and retail sales. Now, both of them are medium impact events, but then combined together, it will give some measure of volatility in the market. So core retail sales, let's check the information about it. It measures the change in the total value at the retail level, excluding automobiles, and the usual effect is actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So what it means is that by 1:30 p.m., if the data is released from Canada and the actual is greater than forecast, the color will be in green, and that will lead to some bullish movements on the Canadian dollar if the actual is greater than the forecast. If on the other end, combined together, the color is red, that means the actual is less than forecast, and that will lead to a bearish movement on the Canadian dollar. Now, we really don't know how the market will go, but then technically, I can show you what to expect on the chart. Now, by 3 p.m. also, we're expecting data from the United States, and that is the existing home sales. And this data measures the annualized number of residential buildings that were sold during the previous month, excluding new construction. So what it means is that in the United States, the government always keeps the data of the way houses are sold. So they have the data of the number of residential homes that were sold in the previous month. And that is what will be released by 1:30 p.m. So it means that by 1:30, 3 p.m. rather, they'll be releasing the data of the total number of residential homes that were sold last month. This is October. They're releasing the data for October by 3 p.m. So again, the effect is that if actual is greater than forecast, it is good for the currency. It means the more homes being sold, the better it is for the economy. It means, people are financially empowered enough to buy homes, and that means the economy is growing. So it means that the data is higher than the forecast, it's good for the economy. If it is less than the forecast, that is bad for the economy. So if the actual comes out greater than the forecast, then it will be in color green, and that will lead to strength in the United States dollar. And if on the other hand, the actual comes out less than forecast, then that means that it should be in color red, and we'll see a decline in the dollar. Now, since these two data will coming up very soon, and we have Canada and United States dollar, the currency pair that connects these two instruments together is the USD CAD, and that will be our instrument of focus in this afternoon analysis. So I'm going to switch over now to the chart to see my projection for the USD CAD. All right, so by 1:30 p.m. and 3 p.m. today, data will be released from both Canada first, the United States dollar. Now, at the beginning of the week, I held a bearish outlook on the USD CAD. I said that it will be affected or impacted by this news event, and these are my reasons for that. Earlier in the week, my analysis on the USD CAD shows that price hit a previous support turned resistance on the daily time frame, not weekly, with a rejection candle in the middle, which has led to some slight bearish movement. That's on the daily time frame. If you go down to the 4-hour time frame, we'll get a clearer picture. On the 4-hour, we have a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and a breakout already happened along with the moving. So technically, I have held a bearish outlook on the US CAD right from the beginning of this week. So we've seen some, movement downwards. Currently, it's in the retracement, but then I anticipate a further bearish continuation on the USD CAD. Now, this is how the news will affect or impact upon the setup. If the data from Canada comes out good for the Canadian dollar, and the one from the United States comes out bad for the US dollar, then we will see a free flow of movements downwards on the USD CAD. I'll tell that again. If the data comes out good for the CAD, bad for the dollar. Why good for the CAD? Why bad for the dollar? Bad for the dollar in the sense that The bad or the red will indicate that there's going to be a weakness on the dollar. The good means that there will be strength on the card. Now, USD card will sell when the dollar is weak and the Canadian dollar is strong. So if that is the scenario that plays out this afternoon by 1:30 and 3 p.m., then that will mean that the fundamental is aligning with this technical to lead to a massive bearish movement on the USD card. Now, if we check other card pairs also, we'll see that some of them are already having this bearish trend. Like this is the Euro card, which also contains the dollar. Now, for the Euro card also, you can see price is clearly in a bearish trend. We had a rising wedge with a twisted top, and today's candle already broke out even below the trend line, showing that this instrument, you can see in the last 5 days, it's already in a bearish trend. So again, this one without the dollar now, if the data comes out good for the Canadian dollar, then the Euro card also might go further bearish. Reason being that for the Euro card, the card is the quote currency. It's not the base, it's a quote. So if the data comes out good for the card, Euro card will sell. It's only an instrument like a card JPY that will go bullish if the data comes out good for the card. Otherwise, a currency pair like Euro card will go bearish. So most of these card pairs, at least the anti-card pairs, they're actually looking kind of bearish at this particular point in time. So I'm bearish primarily on the USD card. And if you want to check the Euro card also, you can do so likewise. All right, so that's it on the fundamental. On the technical, I'm seeing a pattern forming on the GBP USD. This is purely technical. And if it works out beyond 3 p.m., let's say 3:30, 4 p.m., then you may take this particular trade. So for the GBP USD, on the daily time frame, price is trending in the bullish direction. So this is the daily time frame on GBP USD. Price making higher lows, and the candle that closed yesterday closed as a rejection candle. So technically, I'll be looking at a reversal in the bullish direction on the GBP USD. In the big picture, I'm also seeing the possible formation of an inverse head and shoulder. Yeah, it's still relatively early, but that's what I am seeing technically. So, but then let's go with what we can spot now. Rejection candle on a trend line. Technically, we should be looking at a bullish movement. So I'll go straight to 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, I'm seeing what looks a lot like an inverse head and shoulder pattern being formed on the 1 hour, and I will be expecting a breakout into the bullish direction. So I also have a trend line there. Can it form a falling wedge? Maybe, maybe not. Let's just check. Okay, it looks like a falling wedge. So we have the inverse head and shoulder pattern from where we'll anticipate a breakout. Don't forget your confirmation is your RSI above 50. So we're bullish on the GBP USD, and our advice will watch this closely, as the day progresses. All right, that will all from analysis this afternoon. We've looked at the USD card as a key instrument where we anticipate movement, later today when the data is released from the United States. And we're bearish on the USD card on 4 hour, and we're bullish on the GBP USD on 1 hour. So if you have any question, you can go ahead and post, and I'm very much here to respond to you. And don't forget, tomorrow, Friday, we're having a software class by 4 p.m. The flyer will be posted in your respective groups, and the link also. Do try to join us for that live webinar. In Lagos, we're currently having a physical training session, today being Tuesday. If you have not attended a physical training session in PU Prime, I tell you, you're missing a lot. Yeah, though we have limited location from now, Abuja and Lagos. But if you live in any of these locations, try to make sure you attend our physical training session one of these days. You'll be glad you actually took that decision. Okay, so I'm checking BTC USD NAS 100. All right, I'll check it straight away. All right, so starting from the weekly time frame, price is trading around a key level where the market has reacted multiple times. Here it was a resistance. All through this range, it was a resistance, a support, and price is back to that level now as a support. So let's check the daily. On the daily, yeah, that area is still valid, but then we have, more importantly, a support zone around that region. This is a 4 hour, and this is a 1 hour. On the 1 hour, a double bottom already formed and price already broke out above the neckline. But aside that, I'm not really getting clarity, except the fact that I'm seeing possibly a head and shoulder around that key level. All right, so what may happen is this. It's not really so clear what is happening at the moment. Let me go. To be honest, I'm not really seeing clarity around this instrument for now. No clarity around BTC USD. Just avoid it for now. All right, so I'll check NAS 100. Now, please take note, instrument like NAS 100 should be traded with a lot of caution because it can be extremely volatile. So we have a rising wedge on the daily time frame and price hits a resistance level up there. We have a reversal candlestick pattern all on the daily time frame. Okay, so this is what I can say. The trend seems to be bearish, but you may look for a sell if a new candle breaks out below this current low. And you may target the previous support zone. That's all I can say. It's not giving us any direct pattern or anything except that recent low, owing to the fact that there was a breakout from the daily resistance up there. So if a new candle breaks out below this support, which is a minor low, then you can trigger a sell downwards. So that's all I can say on the NAS 100. All right, I think that'll be all from this afternoon session. Trade safe and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good day.